choices. Wait for the call. And what you gonna do, Mean Gene, when Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, and my maniacs run wild on the WCW, brother?
You people, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
The nWo, probably the greatest single faction in all of professional wrestling. When they came into WCW, they dominated and were even established as another brand within the company. They were a true threat to the existence of World Championship Wrestling. Razor Ramon and Diesel's WWE contracts would expire from the WWE a week apart, and each man would end up signing with World Championship Wrestling. See, WCW offered them guaranteed money. Essentially, they would have to work less dates and they would earn more money. For them, it was a no-brainer. Razor Ramon was quoted as saying, "It comes back to what Chief Jay Strongbow told us years ago. In this business, you can make friends or you can make money." And I remember looking at Kev and X-Pac and going, I've already got friends. I like the money. Razor Ramon would debut in WCW under the name Scott Hall first. He came through the crowd and came to the ring and said, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." They made it look like if he was working for the WWF and he was invading WCW. The next week, Diesel would show up as big mystery man Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were now known as the outsiders of WCW. At the following pay-per-view, The Great American Bash, Eric Bischoff would ask the two if they worked for the WWF. They said they didn't work for WWF or WCW, that they wanted a war. If Eric Bischoff could get together a few guys, they would have a 6-man tag match at Bash at the Beach. They then beat up Eric Bischoff and powerbombed him off the stage. This was a great moment. At Bash at the Beach, the match was set. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash for Sting, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Lex Luger. Eventually, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall would be very dominant and looked like they were going to destroy the entire opponents. At this time, Hulk Hogan came down to the ring and swerved everyone and dropped a leg on Randy Savage. The New World Order was officially formed. This was 3 former WWF superstars who were now together to form this crazy band of misfits, the nWo. They were cool, they were edgy, everybody loved them. They were cutting promos backstage in black and white, and eventually they added new members. They added former WWF guys like Ted DiBiase and the 1-2-3 Kid. And as things progressed, they added even more and more members to the group, and it became massive. The group did help as they gave some WCW guys a much needed boost in popularity when they had them join the group. During this time, members shifted and other offshoots of the nWo would be formed, such as the red and black nWo Wolfpack and the Latino World Order, the LWO. The nWo would disband, but it seemed like whenever they needed a great idea, they would bring them back. In 2000, they were brought back with different members as the nWo 2000. They wore black and silver this time. Oh, it was new. Yeah, that didn't really work out. And in 2001, WCW would go out of business. WWF had purchased their competition, WCW. Because of the sale, the contracted wrestlers had a choice. Would they go to the WWF, or would they sit out their contracts and collect the rest of the payment that they were owed? Most of the big-name stars decided to sit it out and collect their paychecks. Getting paid to do nothing? Well, that was a pretty sweet deal. In 2002, most of the WCW contracts were expiring, and Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall went to the WWE. Vince McMahon announced that a lethal dose of poison
With a lethal dose of poison.
was coming in, and they were going to kill the WWE. That poison was the New World Order. The NWO did have a bunch of big moments, including a match with Scott Hall versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan fought The Rock at WrestleMania 18. The major issue here was that they were over. The WWF audience had not seen Hulk Hogan in the WWE since he left in 1994, so seeing him back made everybody remember how much they missed seeing him wrestle. Hulk Hogan got cheered at WrestleMania, and eventually, he was turned face. He would go against the NWO. Without Hulk Hogan in the group, well, the New World Order, that concept, it would never work. What made the New World Order work in WCW was that they were made to look like invaders from the WWF. They were looking to take down the entire company. They were dominant. They destroyed everybody, and they even almost got their own television program. They were truly a second brand within the company. They were even featured as the pay-per-views were going on. They had the WCW nWo pay-per-views as opposed to just the WCW pay-per-views. By the time they came to the WWE, the nWo concept was already played out. And by this time, we had already seen a handful of different versions of the group. The Wolfpack, nWo 2000, the LWO. In WCW, most of the talent that went up against the NWO, besides a handful, didn't look like they were on the same level. When they came into the WWE, they were going against massive superstars such as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. You see, WWE fans were conditioned by the WWE to think that anybody that worked for WCW sucked, and anybody that was in the WWE was miles ahead of them. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, well, they were superstars. The Rock was everywhere. He was in Hollywood. He was making movies. He was doing a bunch of crazy things. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the biggest professional wrestling star and helped shift the landscape of the WWF-WCW war. WWE owned the concept of the New World Order. But by this time, no matter what they did, the NWO just wasn't going to work.